Hello. Today's topic is grow through output. Knowledge becomes your only when you use it. Learning by itself is not enough. If all we do is input, our growth eventually stops. True learning happens only when we use what we know. Only then does knowledge truly become our own. Today, I want to share what I've learned through my years of teaching and continuous learning about the real power of output. As a tutor and educator, I've had the chance to teach students from elementary school to university level. And one thing I've realized is this: the act of output, expressing what you have learned, is the most powerful way to make knowledge stick. When we learn something, listening to a lecture, reading a book, or taking notes, the information enters our brain for a moment. But but unless we use it, our brain decides this isn't important and lets it to fade away. On the other hand, when we speak, write, or teach what we've learned, our brain recognizes it as something meaningful, something worth keeping. That's why the more we use what we know, the more it becomes part of who we are. I've experienced this countless times in class. Whenever I explain something to a student, I realize I'm also reviewing it myself. Teaching is learning twice. Output is not just about giving knowledge, it's also about strengthening, strengthening our own understanding. The essence of output lies in the ability to recall. Our brain strengthens memory not by storing but by retrieving. In other words, output is training the power to remember. Think of studying for a certification exam. You learn new material. That's input. Then you solve problems. That's output. You recall, you check, you adjust. Repeating this cycle is the most effective way to learn. The same is true in teaching. When I explain something to students, I ask myself, how can I make this easy to understand? That process organizes my thoughts and helps me learn while teaching. Even outside the classroom, there are endless opportunities for output. You can talk about the book you read, or share something interesting you learned from a movie or comic. By putting it into words, you organize your thoughts and deepen your understanding. Since I started teaching in Osaka, I've noticed how students' reactions differ, and that has helped me polish my delivery. Education itself is a continuous act of output. Through teaching, I feel that I'm constantly growing as a person. Uh, a, a physiatrist once wrote that learning should be 30% input and 70% output. And I completely agree. If we focus only on input, we become collectors of information. But through output, knowledge transforms into usable skills and living experience. In my daily work, I consciously practice output. After each lesson, I review how I explained things to my students. When I attend a workshop, I share what I learned with my team. When I read a book, I, I read a book, I summarize it in my own words. These small, cons- consistent acts of output are what make me feel real, feel real, tangible growth. As long as we keep learning, we should also keep expressing, because knowledge only gains value when it's used. I want to continue being someone who learns by doing and grows through teaching. And I hope to pass that um, mindset on to my students and colleagues, that learning is only meaningful when you use it. Thank you for listening.